Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to the City of Words, Episode 2, The Silent Language of Presence. You know, in a place where language isn't just something you speak, but the actual literal foundation of how people connect with one another. What happens when that foundation starts to crack? Let's find out. So, just as a quick reminder of where we left off, on Tuesday, the phrase thank you simply stopped working across the entire school. It was this bizarre, strange silence that was hard to name, but absolutely impossible to ignore. And you might remember our wise librarian, Mr. Ellis, asked young Ethan a pretty heavy question, one he couldn't answer. He asked, "When's the last time you said it and actually meant it?" Well, as we're going to see, the mystery was literally just beginning. Let's move to and see how this builds, because by Wednesday, another vital piece of everyday language had completely vanished. Please joined thank you in its mysterious disappearance. Now, the school didn't suddenly get louder or chaotic or even dramatically ruder. It just felt colder, transactional, clipped. People just started asking for things directly, like, pass me that, move over, send me your notes. The requests were getting done, sure, but the feeling behind them, completely, entirely different. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what that shift felt like. Just imagine someone saying to you, pass me that. It's a direct demand, right? It gets the job done, but it feels sharp. It kind of stings a little. Now imagine adding just one tiny word. Pass me that, please. Instantly, the whole feeling changes. It magically softens that harsh demand into an invitation. Without that small, simple word, well, the school lost a little bit of its everyday magic. Now, right in the middle of all this strangeness, we have someone determined to figure it out, and that's Maya. Maya is a total investigator at heart. She processes the world by writing it down. So she started keeping a notebook, meticulously tracking every missing word and every awkward silent moment where a normal phrase just went completely unreachable. Starting Tuesday afternoon, she documented the whole disappearance. By Wednesday evening, she already had 14 distinct entries. 14! And these weren't just lists of vocabulary words. No, they were records of unreachable phrases and deeply frustrating failed attempts to connect. Imagine trying to be polite, trying to reach out to a good friend, and finding that the invisible bridge you normally use is just gone. Poof! Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happened when Maya spread her notebook across that big oak table in the library on Thursday morning. What it revealed wasn't simply a catalog of missing words. It was a map. But a map of what, exactly? It was a map of the empty spaces and the missing connections between people. Every vanished phrase marked a specific moment where a human connection should have happened, but just didn't. Which brings us to a really, really profound concept here, the empathy gap. This is the space left behind when the ordinary cushions of language disappear, revealing if someone is actually present. Think about it. We rarely notice how our words land until we have to stare at the blank space they leave behind. We only notice this gap when our pleases and thank yous are gone, and that everyday cozy signal of connection just stops working. And that led Maya to a brilliant realization. She looked right at Ethan and she said, "The words aren't the actual problem. They're just evidence. What's actually missing is the attention." Let that sink in for a second. The missing ingredient isn't the physical sounds coming out of our mouths. It's the attention. It's that beautiful, intentional moment when you truly look at someone and acknowledge that they are actually there with you. Ethan really thought about Maya's words, and man, it sparked a huge epiphany for him. He realized he was moving through his interactions on complete and total autopilot. He was completing social transactions hollowly, just going through the motions, while mentally being somewhere else entirely. His words were hollow because, well, he wasn't truly present when he said them. He was just checking a box. So, armed with this notebook and this super heavy realization, Ethan and Maya returned to the one person who really seemed to understand the deep magic of words, Mr. Ellis, the librarian. Mr. Ellis took the notebook, but he didn't just glance at it. He studied it for a long, long time, just soaking in the map of the empathy gap that Maya had drawn. So the crucial point is what Mr. Ellis says next. He looked up from those pages and said, "The interesting question isn't what made the words disappear. It's what would have to change for them to come back." And you know what? He didn't answer his own question. He just let Ethan and Maya sit with the heavy, wonderful weight of it. And honestly, that is the exact question I want to leave you with today in this explainer. Are you present in your conversations, or are you running on autopilot? Think of your very last conversation today. Were you actually there, or were you somewhere else? Please subscribe to StorySpark Studio, share this with your friends and family, and tell me in the comments below, are you truly present? Thank you so much for joining me, and I absolutely can't wait to see you next time as we continue to explore the City of Words.